Everybody, Rob Cootie here. Welcome to today's broadcast. I just want to make sure that everybody's doing well. Raise your hands. Hey, just wanted to say good morning, good morning, good morning, America. Good morning, world. I know it's evening in some parts of the world, and we want to say welcome to all of you as well. As you know, this is Rob Cootie, founder and owner of the TheMLM-Solution. And as you know, we are here to help you make this business work for you, to help you get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. That being said, let's get this show going, because today we have a very important subject you don't want to miss. You want to stick around because you're going to have some great information thrown your way that you're not going to learn anyplace else, as we say all the time. So stick around, because here's what we're going to cover. Determine what you want from this business. It's not as simple as you think. You got to align what you want from this business with your mindset. You can't have a mindset of one thing and be pursuing another. You're going to have a disconnect, and it's going to affect your business building activity and the results you get. So with that being said, let's get this show. All right. Well, as I said, we're going to have a very important subject today, and we want to get this baby rolling. And with that, we're going to start our bell, our gong. All right, that officially starts the show. All right, we got a smiley face in the background, as you can see. We got all the stuff we need to make this thing a productive show. With that being said, we're not going to waste any of your valuable time. We're going to get right to the subject. As I said, we are going to be talking about some very important things here in this particular episode. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about what you need to do mindset. We already talked about mindset-wise, what you need to do to make this business go. We already talked about that over the last 2 days. If you haven't seen those videos, you want to go and check those videos, you can go to the blog. And if you don't know what the blog address is, there it is right there. All you have to do is go there, and you're going to have the shows identified right there. Okay, so with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to continue our progression through the basics and tie all these things together. Because if you remember, I have my handy dandy sheet here so I don't forget these things. What you have in show number 1, and it was the subject matter was, so you want to be a network marketer. You know, first and foremost, you got to make up your mind, do you really want to do this business? There is no sense in wasting your money and your valuable time into a business model that you may not really want to be a part of, or that you have a half-hearted feelings about it. You know, look, you got to want, and you have to understand what this business model can do for you, and you've got to want what the results will produce. And most people, almost everybody that come in this business, want 3 things: more time, personal freedom, if you want to use that term. They want a better lifestyle, and they want more money. That's why people come into this business, to improve one or all 3 of those things. So you have to decide, first and foremost, do I want to be a network marketer? Okay. And if you do, then you got to say, okay, if that's the case, you have to say, am I going to be a business builder, or am I going to be a traditional network marketer? And we've expanded on that. If you didn't see that video, go back. It's very important because it outlines the difference between the two. Look, Paul and I are professional business builders. We're not network marketers. We're not afraid to be called network marketers. That doesn't bother us at all. We've been called that and much worse. But here's the thing. We are entrepreneurs, and we know how to make this business go. As I told you over the last couple of shows, I can go up to a new company, and if that new company has 5 things, every new company has to have these 5 things in order to do something special. If they don't have those 5 things, then guess what? Chances are great they're not going to do anything in very little, if anything. Okay, Why do I say that? How do I have such confidence in saying that? Here's the thing. Over the course of 60 plus years, there are patterns that develop in every industry, in life itself, okay? And in the past 60 years, there's 5 things all new network marketing companies had in common. So professional business builders know that if a new company pops up, we need to evaluate that company for these 5 things. If that company has those 5 things and we like what's going on and we have a good feeling, then chances are great we're going to join it. If it doesn't, we're going to move on, because history has shown us that if they don't have these 5 things, chances are really great they're not going to do anything. So what is that? That's a professional business builder mentality. And we talked about that over the last 2 videos. Why do I bring it up again? Because look, the mindset, us being professional business builders, we are going into the business model with total focus. We know what we need to do. We know how this business model works. We know the numbers. We immediately walk into a new company. We start evaluating things. And Paul knows this. We've known many business owners, network marketing business owners, and we've had a chance to meet them and talk to them. And we know some of the top earners in this industry very well. And we get to talk to them. And all these top earners know each other. Like, for instance, if Paul and I run into a new company and Paul calls and says, Rob, I've run into something that I'd like to talk to you about. It's a new company and I want to throw some of the stats at you and I want to talk to you about the leadership. And Paul and I will have a professional business discussion about this new company to see if it has the 5 things, first and foremost, and then we'll have a business conversation. Because we have to make an educated decision, because that decision not only affects us and our future and our reputations, but it also affects our downline that will eventually join us. And we have to look our downline in the eyes and tell them the truth. So we have to feel totally confident that this new company has everything that's necessary to have a chance, a legitimate chance to do something special. There's no guarantees. We all know that. But the bottom line is, in order for Paul and I to do our jobs as leaders, we have to have total confidence that this new opportunity is going to provide everybody the same financial opportunity it's providing us, okay? So, as I said, the last 2 shows tie into to today's show, because what you have to do, and I already touched on it in the example that I gave about Paul and I, you have to determine what it is you want from this business model, what you want from this company. If you go in and you don't have a clear understanding and a clear focus on what you want from this industry, what you want from this business model, what you want from this company, then you are at a major disadvantage from day one. You're going to be floating around like a ship with no sail. You won't have the laser focus that's necessary to create the momentum that's necessary to get your business into a groove where it's going to start throwing off some serious money. And these are things you're not taught. These are things that Paul and I take the time to teach our people. And these are the things, for whatever reason, top leaders, and I don't mean the top earners because those guys are pros, but I'm talking about the top earners in companies. They don't take the time to tell people, and they say, well, we do training. Okay, I ask you guys to raise your hand and say, yeah, I've been taught these things. We're only in 3 videos into this new podcast. And you know what? I would imagine we've touched on a lot of stuff already that people have no clue, well, number 1, what they are. Number 2, how they affect their business. People get out there and they work their tail ends off. They think they're making progress, and you'll have limited progress. But what happens is that when you're not doing the right things, the very foundation that you're laying is being eaten away underneath where you don't even see it, because of the fact that you don't understand how the business works. You don't know what to look out for. You don't know the right steps to take. So you're out there working your tail end off. You're making progress. You're excited. You see progress. You feel the progress. You feel the excitement. And what you don't know is that underneath of all that excitement, in a camouflage mode, because you're not doing the right things, things are eating away at the very foundation that you're setting. Folks, I can't tell you how many times I've had people come up to me in my downline and say, Rob, I've worked my tail end off. I've done everything that you've told me. And you know what? I'm not getting any traction. Things are falling apart as they go through. as I go through the people, and we'll sit down and we'll do an evaluation. And I tell them, I say, look, you got to be honest with me. If I ask you a question, it's got to be a straight yes or no. No excuses. It's either yes, you're doing it, no, you're doing it. And I'll go through a list, and I don't get down that list very far before they say, I'm not doing that. And then right away, I know. And some of the basic things that they did not do was this. They skipped over the basics. Well, Rob, I didn't think it was that important. I heard you say that. I can't tell you how many people bought our What Not to Do in Network Marketing book. And you know what? I ran into those people later on, and you know what they told me? They said, Rob, it's great to see you again, and this and that. And they say, you know what? In hindsight, I would still be in the business today if I'd have read that book. You know what? I read that book after I left the business. And if I'd have read that while I was in the business, chances are great I'd still be in it. Chances are I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I made. And you know what? I was glad they read the book. And I'm glad it had an impact on them. But you know what? Here's the thing. I wish they'd have read it while they were in the business. It broke my heart that they gave up on their future and they gave up on their dreams and really didn't give themselves a fair chance. Why do I bring that up? It's not about the book. It's about them. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't utilize the basics. And that's what we're trying to teach you here, because the basics can get wiped over with all the wonderful buzz and beauty of the cool tactics you do and the tools you use. And in the name of progress, in the name of showmanship, in the name of whatever, the basics get glossed over and people are at a major disadvantage. Once again, I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again here. That's the reason why professional business builders can go from one company to the other and shoot up the comp plan. Yeah, there's some shenanigans that go on in this industry. And yeah, there's some shenanigans that go on with some of those quote unquote leaders that pop up overnight into a comp plan, which we won't get into today. But you need to know about those things in the future. And we teach you all that, but we're not going to talk about that today. But the people that legitimately showed up overnight because the past month they've been working their tail end off, and all of a sudden they're in the top 10 in the comp plan, and the company's promoting these people. And you come to find out this individual is a professional that's been around the industry for a while and has been with other companies, and you recognize the name and you say, how do they do that? How is it that they can just come into a new company and make it happen like that quick? I will tell you that Paul and I know a couple people, and one of them I admire greatly, because here's what they did. Paul and I joined a company one time, and this company had real promise. It had the 5 things, and the leadership was energetic and focused and young and really knew what they were doing. They had a tremendous amount of experience behind them in all the different capacities of leading a network marketing company. Matter of fact, all of them came from large international companies like Nu Skin, Mary Kay, Amway. So they had experience at the highest level. We were really excited when they went out on their own. Okay. And one of the top people, a world-renowned professional business builder who came into this new company, which Paul and I know very well and been around them quite extensively. But the thing is that we respected this individual because what they did is they brought nobody with them. They said, you know what? I'm not going to bring a group with me from another business, or I'm not going to call my old pals. I'm going to start from scratch. I want my downline to realize that I'm going to do the work that they're doing. I'm going to start from ground zero, and I'm going to show them that it can be done, that I'm just not going to walk in the door with a group of people following me. We were very impressed. And then, of course, they shot right up the comp plan and the success letter. Why? Because they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the numbers they had to work. They knew how to talk to people. They knew how to sponsor people, how to train them quickly without bogging them down with all these ridiculous training methods and strategies and all that other crap. They told them, okay, hey, there's 5 simple steps you got to take. Bam, bam, bam. Let's go. And they get in there, get dirty, and off they go. Well, that's what you want, right? Well, guess what? The thing is that what this individual had mastered is what? The basics. The reason all the glitz and glamour followed this individual everywhere and all the people hoarded to him, and why success was at their fingertips, is because Once again, they knew exactly what to do, and they knew the basics. Again, they knew what to say to people. They knew how to lead people. They knew the business frontwards and backwards. They knew the business building process itself. They knew how to lay a foundation that was going to be solid and not fall out underneath of them. Sure, there were going to be people that are going to leave their business. That's part of any industry. That wasn't the issue, and that's not what I'm saying. What do you do in network marketing? What is the essence of network marketing? It is to sift through people as quickly as possible, looking for, finding, and working with leaders. The more leaders you have, the bigger the business you're going to have, the more stable it's going to be, the more profitable it's going to be, and the more proficient it's going to be. And it's going to be, as I said, more stable. And you want stability, because if you want that drink out of the coconut money, where you can sit on the beach and never have to worry about lifting another finger and just become a figurehead for your organization, you got to have stability. And the only way you're going to get stability, folks, is to have leaders. And we teach you not only how to find these people, work with them, but there's to stabilize a leg, there has to be a certain amount of leaders in that leg. And I'm not going to go down that road. But see, there again, there's another basic principle that most people are not taught. And so when someone passes away or decides to quit the business or get a divorce and they go their separate ways with their spouse, and that leg takes a hit in volume, guess what? You're going to have some other leaders in that leg. They're going to stabilize that and then continue to grow. There's a little trick right there. Most of you don't know that. Okay, so the whole purpose of that rant right there is that you got to master the basics. And I'm really harping on it because I want you to really walk away from our videos understanding that you need to watch video 1, video 2. Yes, they can be boring. I'm going to try and get a little more entertaining. You know, we're just getting started and we're just getting our feet wet, and we want to have fun with this, but you got to do the basics, you know? And like I said, I used the example the other day about Michael Jordan. We had a superstar of our own here, Darrell Griffith, what they called Dr. Duncanstein, who played for the Utah Jazz for 11, 12 years. He was a superstar. He was much on the level of Michael Jordan. Matter of fact, he was a Michael Jordan before there was a Michael Jordan. But the point is that in his junior and senior years, Denny Crum, the coach at University of Louisville, told Darrell the same thing. And you know what Darrell did? I'll never forget the story. The security guard called Denny Crum one night at 3 a.m. And he goes, "Coach," he said, "the ball players are in Crawford Gym. It's 3 a.m. Should I kick them out?" And Coach Crum goes, "What are they doing?" He said, "They're dribbling between chairs and they're guarding each other and they're doing all these drills." He goes, "Don't you dare mess with those boys. Leave them alone. They're working on their game." And what were they doing? Darrell said he had to better his basic dribbling skills and other movements and get better at moving his feet on defense and turning his hips and planting his feet and being on the balls of his feet. And he was working, he was successful because of his natural talent, which God had blessed him with immense talent. But as he got into his junior and senior year, he realized that when he was playing against pro players that we had here locally, he realized that he was missing a big part of his game in many areas. So what did he do? He went to the basics. And I tell you those stories because people that rise to high level success do what? When no one else is looking, they're mastering the basics. And folks, that's what you got to do. So that's enough harping on that. I hope you get it. Go back and watch the videos. Please take notes, learn the basics. We're going to continue to expose the basics to you guys. And in our members area, we have training videos that you will not believe, that you're not going to get anyplace else. And the thing is that you can pick those training videos. You can say, "Hey, you know what? I need to learn about this." You don't need to watch all of them all at one time, but they're at your fingertips. And these things here, these videos, these podcasts are going to expose you to these tactics. And if you want to learn more, and if you want to have that training at your fingertips down the road, you're going to be able to access that 24/7. How powerful is that? Again, you're not going to get that anyplace else. So let's get back to the subject of the podcast, okay? Determine what you need from this business. Look, this is going to help you to determine the type of business you want. There's 3 different types of businesses, and we're going to touch on that right now. Regardless of what anybody else says, the bottom line is this. You're either building a retail business or you're building how would you say, a product-based business, or you're building a small business, or you're building a big business. Those are the only three. Now, the product-based business is the same as the retail. It was what I call retail. Okay, and I'm going to define them for you. If you have a product that you're just madly in love with, here's what you're going to run into. You're going to have people in your organization, which I embrace. I embrace everybody. I didn't care. You know what? If they wanted to build a big business, it was totally different. We had to sit down and have a talk. But if they loved the product and they wanted to focus on the product and they wanted to set booths up at different events and promote the product and tell people how great they are and really kind of build a retail following, that's fine with me. But I'm going to tell you something. We'll do a podcast down the road. You do not want to get into retail mindset. You do not want to go down that road because it automatically limits the income and lifestyle you can achieve. Now, have people in the past on using the product alone built huge businesses? Yes, they most certainly did. There's no denying that. But folks, that was in the 60s and 70s. People were totally different. They were more trusting. People, you used the business model because the industry was new, and they used the business part of the business model. How would I say? It was the only thing they had knowledge-wise. That's what I'm trying to say. They didn't understand the business because it was just starting. They didn't understand the business model and how it worked and all the unique twists and turns you had to take. So in the early days, the Bill Britt days, the Amway days, the Mary Kay, it was a product-focused industry. Nothing wrong with that, but it's changed dramatically. Here's why. You have Walmart, you have Targets. I could go on. You get the idea. Immense selection of great products out there at really good prices. How can you compete? The moment you open your mouth and you say, hey, I've got a great product, and it was developed in Pluto, and the aliens took it from Pluto, and then they went to Mercury, and then after that, they went to Mars. They cultivated that for 1,000 years, and then they brought it down here to Earth, and they only brought it to my company, and we're the only company that offers this proprietary product. And it's going to help you lose 100 pounds in 20 minutes. Now, I know I'm being silly, but here's the thing. You get on some conference calls that are not too far off from those crazy claims. That's crazy. But here's the thing. The moment you mention your product, you're going to end up defending the price, the ingredients, the effects, everything. And you're going to spend all your valuable energy and focus on the product and defending it and trying to convince people it's better than anything else versus being focused on what? Working with leaders, right? And I'm going to tell you something. High quality people don't give a crap about the product. And we don't either. Paul and I never talk about the product. Here's the thing. When Paul and I run a new company, we talk about the comp plan, the leadership, the timing of the company, the backing of the company. We don't get into the product. Now, we do look at the product because we realize it's got an important role. And here's what we do. Is it safe? Does it work? Do people want it? So if you want, there's back to the three models. If you want to focus on the product, you're automatically in a retail mindset. You put yourself at a disadvantage in so many ways, but people love the product. They love pushing it. They love talking about it. And that's awesome. I embrace those people. I never gave anybody a hard time. I shook the hand of people that ordered one product through my organization. And I would see them at events and stuff, and I would shake their hand as if they ordered 100,000 products, because every person's important. I love people. I'm going to support them. And you know what? You never know when they're going to come to you and say, Rob, I'm ready to move forward. Can you help me? I want to take advantage of this opportunity. Okay. Some of them take a little bit of time. Some of them never do anything. That's fine. That's fine. I accept people where they are and where they want to be, period. So with that being said, the second part of a business process is the small business. And each one of these have a cap on them, except for the big business. And even the big business has a cap at some level. I mean, let's be honest. But the thing is that the small business is usually going to be from like 2,000 to 5,000. And with certain companies' comp plans, it could be 10,000 a month. And yes, that is a small business. And I'm going to tell you that it's that much between building a small business and a big business. It's only that much more time, that much more effort. I always tell my people, they said, Rob, what should I do? Should I go for a big business or I go for a small business? I tell them, I say, you know what? Personally, if you're going to do it, go balls to the walls, because I'm going to tell you, it's razor thin between a small business and big business. Why not? You're putting in the effort, you're putting in the time, you've got things rolling. You may never get that opportunity again. You don't know if this company is going to be around long term. I can tell you that the financial opportunity, the ability, the legitimate ability to create wealth with a new company is only going to last 1 to 3 years, 5 max. New Skin was an anomaly. You're not going to have that happen. I can look you right in the eye and tell you that it's just not going to happen in today's network marketing environment. So Paul and I go into a new company. We know we got to get our butts in gear, and we tell our downline, look, you've got to get going, because we don't know if this company's going to close its doors one day, which I've had it happen to me, I think 2 or 3 times. I know 2 at least. And it's a humbling experience when your checks stop coming. But here's the thing. You don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. There are companies I've been a part of that are still around to this day that were new companies, okay? And I'm surprised, to be honest with you, but they are still around. And the thing is that they level off, okay? I knew I had to get in, and I had to make money, and I had to make it fast, okay? So you can do a small business. And when people say, well, Rob, I'm happy with this income. I'm happy with the lifestyle I've created with this. Because I don't go around beating my people over the head saying, you need to build a big business. I embrace them, and I'm really happy with them. Because look, some people are happy with $500 extra a month. Now, that's not a small business. So that's more of a retail business, but that's okay. $500 can change people's lives. Okay. And I'm proud of them, because look, it's hard work. This business is hard work. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So here's the thing. If they go to $3,000 a month, I'm like, dude, that's cool. Lady, that's awesome, man. Keep going. No, I'm happy right here. Well, that's awesome. If you need me, I'm here. If you run any problems, give me a call, text me, email me. I'm there for you. Okay. And since I taught them the right way, there's very few times that I actually got calls or contacts from them, which is awesome. That meant that I trained them the right way, and that they were able to stand up on their own 2 feet. And, they used our materials, and they were able to go in the members area, and they were able to find the answers instead of getting in touch with me, but they knew I was there. Okay. So the point is that they were at the small business level, and I'm going to tell you that is awesome. Okay. Everybody's not going to build a big business, but if you have 5 to 7 people out of your organization, as you build it, that step up and say, look, I'm going for it. And there's usually more than that, but they say, I'm going for it. I'm on a roll. And some people will start out and say, hey, look, you know what? I want to start out at the retail level, and they see some progress, and they're like, hey, this is cool. And then they, without realizing it, they're on a roll, and then they get to the small business status, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to have to make a decision. Am I going to continue my job, or am I going to transition into this network marketing business? And they get, that's a scary moment for a lot of people, giving up what they want. Not everybody, but there's a certain amount of people are like, I don't know if I want to do this. I've worked my whole life, and this is really kind of nerve wracking. And so they'll hold on to the job for a while until the job interferes with the progress they're making. Okay. And then they'll transition into a full-time position. And the next thing you know, they're going into the big business mode and really had no intentions of doing the big business. Okay. Now, does that mean that they didn't master the basics? Does that mean that they didn't have laser focus? No, they had focus, and they did some of the basics. When they were doing the retail, they didn't have to have that laser focus. They didn't have to determine what kind of business. They came in with 1 foot in the water, and they're like, okay, well, let me see. And then things kind of, like I said, moved along. And then they put the other foot in. They're like, well, the water's kind of warm, and it's not too deep. I think I'll keep going a little bit further and see what happens. But once they realized that they wanted to go into a full-time mode, that's when they were smart enough to get with me or Paul or somebody else and say, hey, look, I'm going full-time. I need direction here. This is kind of nerve-wracking, and the spouse is not really happy about this. And I need to know that I'm doing the right thing or taking the right steps to make this happen. Then their focus becomes, they get it. They're like, oh, okay, then I need to back up and master these basics that you're telling me I'm not doing, because if I don't, I'm going to jeopardize my business and end up going back to my own job and embarrassing myself. Well, yeah, if you don't do the basics, yeah, that's going to happen. So you see, we're right from the get-go, not only mastering the basics and understanding the basics and the role they play, having a complete understanding of the type of business that you want. Remember, you have the retail / product, okay, where you're servicing people with product. You can build a nice business with that. It's very intensive time-wise and labor-wise. Of course, you're not delivering the product, but if you're setting up booths and going to people's houses and doing parties and things like that, that's very time-intensive. And it's a real challenge. But it can be done. It's been done many times. And a lot of people have fun doing it. That's awesome. The small business is really the big business, not on steroids. It's the best way I can put it. And it's really a shame that people don't take that extra step. But once again, then we have the big business. So you have to determine from day one, what do you want from this business? Let me give you an example. When I first came into the industry, I really didn't understand all this, obviously. And I was really at a major disadvantage. There was very few people that worked as hard as I did. There was very few people that put as many hours as I did. But I would have limited success. And I would fall backwards and I'd be like, what is going on? I go to bed at night thinking, what in the world? I can't work any harder. I can't put in any more hours. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, my leaders wouldn't answer my calls. They wouldn't take, well, email didn't exist back then. I'd started out when Fred Flintstone was a baby in this industry. I'm ashamed to say. So the thing is that, email wasn't around, and you use phone calls, and most network marketing companies had these wonderful voice messaging systems. But I don't know why they didn't return my calls. Like I said, most people didn't work near as hard as I did. And so the information and the training was slow to come, especially when I was in a different state. I was in the military at the time. And so, when I got assigned to another state, I had to leave my sponsor behind. And so it was really hard for me to get that instantaneous support and guidance and help, because sometimes I was in a different country. Sometimes I was in a different state. There was a huge time difference. And, they were busy with other people. And I will say that the people that sponsored me, most of those people had already built big businesses. And I'm very grateful for that. I've learned from really wonderful people. But it was hard to learn myself. And I was out there willy-nilly it, not realizing it. And I was learning on the fly. And I was making more mistakes than I realized. And those mistakes obviously were eating away at what I was accomplishing. So the point is that it was really hard to get the proper information where I could move forward in the business. And it wasn't until later, where I got more stable, that I was able to sit down eye to eye with real professional business builders and learn at their feet, and take what I learned, apply it to my talents and abilities and willingness to work hard. And that's when things really started taking off. But I didn't know when I started out what type of business I wanted to build. I really didn't have focus. I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to create volume. I was trying to anything I could to make myself better, but it wasn't working because I wasn't doing the right things. Little did I know, I didn't know anything about basics in this industry. I mean, I knew they existed, but I didn't know their importance. I didn't understand the role they played or how much of an impact they were going to have on my business. Nobody told me that stuff. And I really didn't know what a basic business building process was, or steps. I really had no idea. They just said, I remember one of my sponsors in one company, I was talking to him and I was trying to learn about the product. At that time, I was product focused, like everybody else. And I would ask these questions about the product, and he turned to me and he goes, Rob, it's not about the product. And I was blown away. I was like, what do you mean? How can it not be about the product? He said, Rob, it's about creating volume. I couldn't tell you the first thing about this product. If you want to learn about the product, you're going to have to go to the company or call. It's not about the product. That went right over my head. I had no clue. I was not happy with that answer. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to endorse something that I don't know anything about. I'm not going to endorse something that may harm people. I need to know more about this product. And he goes, well, I know enough that I can endorse it. And you know what? And he was a very successful, he was rocking and rolling. And I just didn't get it. It went right over my head. Okay. Well, that was one of the basic principles. And I didn't even realize it. Nobody said, he didn't pull me off the side and say, hey, look, here's a basic principle. I'm teaching right now. This is a teaching moment. Here's why this is not important. He didn't do that. And it wasn't until years later, here I was spinning my wheels again for years, not realizing the importance of the statement that he made. Okay. And we'll talk about the importance of the product. You know, a lot of people have this huge misconception of the product. The product is important. There's no doubt. And you have to realize, folks, that you're an entrepreneur looking for a way to make money and better your life. And this business model may intrigue you. And guess what? There are tools that are available that can make the business building process very easy. And when I say very easy, it's not like you don't have to work hard, you do. But I'm telling you, it can be easy. Sponsoring people can become second nature and easy. You'd be amazed. It's fun. But the thing is, you have to be able to use the right tools and know what tools to use and know which ones work. Well, I didn't know any of that. So I didn't have that laser focus. I didn't even know what type of business. I just knew I wanted to make a lot of money. Well, that didn't mean anything. Everybody wants to make a lot of money. I didn't write it down. I didn't say how many people I wanted to sponsor. I didn't say how many people I wanted in my organization. I didn't want to say how much volume that I was going to create each and every month. I hadn't done none of that. And so I didn't have that focus. And when you do those things give you a laser focus. There's a thing called a 90-day mini blast, which I won't get into here, that the professional business builders use. Why do they use that? When they go into a new company, they understand that timing is absolutely essential, and they know that they have to get the ball rolling. A 90-day mini blast inherently causes immediate urgency, and it creates excitement and energy and volume and everything. It's an amazing tool. But the thing is that I knew nothing about that. I didn't know how to create volume. Well, I did. You buy a product, but I didn't know how to create on a massive scale. I didn't understand the essence of urgency and the necessity of speed in the business building process. I had no clue. No one told me the profound effect those things will have. And those things are inherently built into a 90-day mini blast. Okay. I didn't know those things. Once again, I didn't have focus because I didn't have understanding, and because I didn't understand what was possible in 90 days. Okay. And if you don't know what a 90-day mini blast is, once again, we'll teach you about that. And it's something that we obviously go through quite a bit in detail in the members area. But the point is that you have to utilize a tactic like that in order to create that all important momentum to get your business to that drinking out of the coconut level. So, you know, when you're sitting there and you decide, and we're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. We've been, 37 minutes. That's not too bad. But here's the thing. I'm going to act like I'm you, and you've run into some company that you're really excited about. You see real potential. You do know about the 5 things, and you check this company out and you say, yeah, it's got these 5 things. And you're like, okay, what do I do now? Now, you can go one or two ways here, and it can be a blessing, it can be a curse. There's a lot of so-called leaders out there that act like they know what they're doing, okay? And their heart's in the right place. I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody. There are some unscrupulous people. I've run into those, believe me, in my travels. But here's the thing. For the most part, in this industry, there's good people. Unfortunately, those people don't know what you already know. You're learning right now. So their heart's in the right place. You join a company, and you have a path to choose. Am I going to go with them, or am I going to go on my own? And I talked about in yesterday's podcast, I think, or the day before, I can't remember, but here's the point. When I was down in Miami Beach with Randy Gage, I paid, believe it or not, and some people would say this was foolish, but it wasn't. I paid $1,500 an hour to be with Randy Gage, and I was with him probably 9 or 10 hours. And it was a profound effect on my life in so many capacities. If no one doesn't know Randy Gage, you won't get it, but it was money well spent. But here's the thing. Randy told me, he said, look, all the big time professional business builders that I know and that have worked with, they've never used a sponsor. Now, they had to have a sponsor to get into the business, the company they were in. That's not the point. But these guys knew what they were doing. And they were like, you know what? I got it. You know what? All I need you to do is sponsor me. And so they would get into the business and off they go. And he said, Rob, without exception, They did their own thing. Now, that doesn't mean that they created their own system. That meant that these people knew what they were doing. They didn't need help from their sponsor. They just needed to get into the business, and that's the role the sponsor played. Okay, now I'm not advocating that for you. I don't think you have the experience and knowledge. I don't know you guys, but I'm not advocating that for you right now. But you have a choice to make when you join a new company. You go with the sponsor, or you go on your own. And I'll tell you a quick story about a company I joined. And there's a big time professional business builder that if I mentioned his name, most of you guys would know who he is. And if you didn't, you could look him up and find him right away. But here's the thing. I called him. I hunted him down because I wanted him to sponsor me. Why? Because I wanted to use his name as a leverage tool, okay, in the business building process. So when you're going into your business, new business, you need to look at where you want to go. Do you want to go with a sponsor that may not know what they're doing, or do you want to use a business building system that's proven? Okay. And when I say I hunted down this individual, I did that because they were one of the tools that was at my disposal. And I told him, look, I got this. I'm not going to work your system. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do what I got to do. And just if I need any help or any questions answered, I'll get with you about the company or a product or something. And they said, yep, I get it. That's fine. I understand what you're saying. And I'm here for you if you need me. Okay. That's the two paths that you can go on. You either go on a sponsor or you go on your own and use, but if you go on your own, you're going to have to make sure you're using the right business building system. And there again, that's what we teach. We teach you at the MLM-Solution those principles, the basics. And we have a business building system. It's the 5 simple steps to networking success in 90 days or less. That's a mouthful, but that's exactly what it is. So when you get ready and you're joining this new company, you're going to say to yourself, okay, here's what I want. I want to make X amount of money by the end of the 90th day. I want to have X amount of people in my business by the end of the 90th day. I want to have X amount of leaders in my business by the 90th day. I want to be making this much by the end of the 90th day. I want to have this much volume in my business by the end of the 90th day. I want this many pins being broken in my business by the end of the 90th day. You want to get very specific about what it is you want your business to achieve by the end of the 90th day, whether that's a small business, a retail business, or a big business. Okay, because that's going to give you the focus that you need to achieve what you put down on paper. Okay, and you're going to have to determine what type of what you want from the business, what kind of lifestyle. All right, I mean, let's take a look. You need to determine right from the get-go what kind of business. I mean, what you want from your business. What is it that you want? Do you want the freedom? Do you want the money? Do you want the comfort that comes from having that money? And what about once you make that decision, what you want from this business, you know what it's going to do? It's going to help you determine what kind of business you build. Because if you say, I want to make $10,000 a month, then guess what? It's telling you you're going to need at least a small business, which tells you what kind of numbers you need to put down on your goal sheet, your 90-day goal sheet. You see what I'm saying? So when you determine what it is you want from this business, it's going to help you determine what type of business you need to build. And at the same time, as you see it scrolling across the bottom, it's going to tell you the type of income that you can develop. Okay. If you say, I want to build a small business, most small businesses incomes come from like 2,000, 3,000 up to 5,000, and they can go as high as 10,000. But by the time you get up in that stratosphere a month, you're really talking about entry level into the big business. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? When you say, this is what I want from this business, that tells you what kind of business you're going to build. And we want you to identify what kind of business you're going to build. It will now tell you what kind of income you can shoot for and what to expect income wise. And obviously the income is going to have a direct impact on the lifestyle you can attain. Can you imagine? I never thought, if you've never had that feeling where everything's paid off, where you can go where you want, and you have no worries, folks, I can't even tell you in words. I'm not good enough with words to tell you the peace, the comfort, the joy that comes with that kind of lifestyle. And people, that doesn't get boring. I'm gonna tell you something. My wife can tell you. We've been retired for, I'd say, 20 years. The wife and I, she says, I got to go back to work to relax. Because folks, we're so daggone busy. We do not sit still. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm so blessed. I can't even begin to tell you material wise. And that's not important. Believe me, I've had some serious health issues this past year that's made a lot of things hard and opened my eyes. But the thing is that the material things, and I hate cliches and I hate, these kind of comments, but you really sit back and you go, that's really not important. And the material things are not. We are so blessed, and we know we're blessed. We give thanks every day. The moment I open my eyes, I'm thankful that I'm still alive and healthy. And I never, when Paul and I talk, I can't hardly tell you that we never talk about material things. I can't tell you the last time Paul and I I couldn't even tell you what Paul owns. I bet he can't tell you what I own, because we don't care. I've never been a materialistic person. Now, I enjoy my cars, I'll tell you. And my brother, we both had multiple cars at one time and enjoy them. But you know what? We drove them at night where nobody could see them, where nobody would know we had them, because we didn't want people to be hanging around us because of the cars we had. So I could go on and on and on. But those things aren't important. But it's nice. Like the wife said, she goes, I get tired of people saying money's not important. She said, I'm so thankful that we have money. It makes things so much easier, and it gives us choices. And we're in a position where we can help others, whether it's our family or friends or whatever. And we've done that many times. The bottom line is that money gives you options, okay? And it will give you a peace of mind. I don't care what people say. People can say all that. Now, there's a point where you get so much of it, it's cumbersome. It can be aggravating. There is no doubt about that. But the bottom line is that I love having the options, and I think you will too. And this business model will deliver that. Okay, it will deliver that. But it all starts with the basics we've covered in the last 3 videos. Now, tomorrow, I have them all written down, because if I don't, I'll forget. Age. I'm not going to say how old I am. And my doggies aren't here today. Ooh, wrong way. They're outside. It's beautiful outside. They're outside today. Otherwise, they'd be a part of this podcast. Let's see. Tomorrow, here's what we're going to have. You're going to determine the type of lifestyle that you want to live. Now, why is that important? Why is that part of the basics? Look, if you just want to have a lifestyle where you can pay all your bills and still maintain your job, that's a lifestyle, and that's a choice. If you want a lifestyle where you have everything paid for and you want to just not do anything, you just want to sit on your back porch and drink all day, that's a different type of lifestyle. If you want a lifestyle where you can take that money and invest it into other vehicles, which I've done in the past, then guess what? That's a different type of lifestyle. Once again, it's, saying the word lifestyle, people kind of put it in this one big bowl and say, well, lifestyle, that's, covers everything. Well, no, it doesn't. If you don't know what kind of lifestyle you want to achieve with this business, then guess what? As you go along, you're going to blow your money. I can't tell you how many people have made tremendous money in this industry and ended up being broke at the end of the day. And that was heartbreaking to see. Okay. If you want, look, here's the thing. Use network marketing as a tool that it is to develop an incredible income in a relatively short period of time that can change your life and your downline lives, and use that money wisely to pay everything off and invest it so that you can retire in the 60s and 70s comfortably. Okay. That's what you should use this money for. That's what you should use this vehicle for. Okay. It's a business. You know what? Maximize it. Get in there, make your money, Teach your downline to make money. It's the only way you're going to make money is teaching them to make money. Take that money, pay everything off in case something happens. At least everything's paid off. Save up as much as you can and invest it. And I was in real estate. That's what I did. And I did investments too. I did really well in both. But you know what? As I look back, thank God I did that. Okay. So we're going to talk about lifestyle tomorrow, because you really need there, once again, when you're putting down, when you decide that you're going to be a part of this industry, you need to put down what type of lifestyle you want. I want to have a vacation home in the Smoky Mountains. I want to have a vacation home in Key West, whatever the case may be. I want to have this much money in an emergency fund. I want to be able to donate this much per month. Folks, that's a lifestyle. Okay. And you're going to sit down, you're going to add that up, and you're going to say, okay, this is the total, and this is how much I need to make above and beyond that, because, you know, I got to have some money for my family. Once you have that down, you get this focus, you get this motivation. And once you start making money, you get excited because you see that it's a realistic possibility that you're going to be able to do that. And man, you talk about the momentum, you're talking about, you know, this business can be fun. If you do it right, it can be fun. And you're now achieving success that you never thought was possible. And it can be a blast. It really can. You meet great people. To me, meeting the people and the travel was the funnest part. I didn't mind the business building process. I love meeting new people. So the recruiting was easy for me. I get along with people. I talk easily with people. And so that part was fun. But what I really enjoyed was the big events. And I love meeting the people. I love being around like-minded people. I always met great people, made a lot of very good friends along the way that are still friends to this day. And very good friends. And Paul's one of them. Paul and I met, golly, I wish Paul was on here. He could tell me, but it's got to have been 20 years ago now. It's hard to believe. Well, I met his son. I met Paul when his son was 2 or 3. And his son is 17 or 18 now. So I guess it's only been 15 or 16 years, but Paul will tell me one day. But the point is, that's how I met Paul. And we've been great friends ever since. And I've got other friends like that I met in the industry. Wonderful, wonderful people. And you're going to have the same experience. You're going to make lifelong friends in this. So with that being said, I've talked enough. I hope that this has really made sense to you. Please watch video 1, video 2, or podcast 1, podcast 2 is what I should call them, because that's what they are. I remember we're all over the place. We're on SoundCloud, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts. I've got to upload these things. It's just me and Paul right now. We're going to be hiring some people, which we've done in the past. We're getting our feet wet and trying to adjust as we go on the fly here. But anyway, we're on YouTube. You can go there and search for the MLM Solution. We ask that you subscribe. You'll get notified when we upload all this new stuff. We're on Facebook, the MLM Solution once again. We're on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. Paul takes care of all the social media. I'm really, as Paul knows, if it wasn't for Paul, I'd be lost. And then my wife gets aggravated at me because she knows more about Facebook than I ever will. And she says, how can you build all these sites? How can you be so technologically advanced and not be able to understand Facebook? And Facebook just totally aggravates the crap out of me. I am lost. I'm rarely on there because I don't understand it. Go here, do this, do that. And all these things are flying around. I'm like, whoa, this is too much. But if I talk to Paul, man, Paul's like, no, Rob, you don't know. You go here, you go there. And I actually have to share my screen with him so he can show me what to do because I'm lost. I can do Twitter. That's easy. Get in there and put in 280 words, bam. I can do that. Instagram, yeah, I can do that. I really don't understand the dashboard, but I can do it. LinkedIn kind of confuses me. I don't care for LinkedIn either. So anyway, there we go. Paul's the guru and social media guru. And if I don't tell you guys where we are, he gets aggravated. You forgot to tell him. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So there we are. If you want to follow us, please share it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave comments, good, bad, ugly, whatever. Follow us, subscribe. Please do all the following. Share this information with other people. There's people out there that are struggling. It breaks our hearts. That's the reason why we're doing this. Bottom line. We're out here to help people to clear up all the mess that's out there so that you guys have something you can sink your teeth into and have a realistic chance of doing something special for you and your family. We hope that you'll use this information to make 2020 your best year ever. That's why we do it. We love helping people. It excites us to be able to do this. And this technology allows us to reach across the world. And we do. We get a lot of people from all parts of the world I never thought. Russia, Germany, golly, the Asian countries. I never thought we'd have that wider audience, but we do. It's cool. All right, folks, God bless. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. We'll same time, same place. Take care.